Foreign, Luna, and Dusk wanted to be sure they arrived at the Autumn Fest as early as possible. Besides needing lots of time to set up their instruments, they also wanted a bit of time to wander around. The Autumn Fest was one of their favorite traditions, and even if they did have a big role in it, they certainly didn't want to miss any of the attractions. The Autumn Fest looked just as expansive as it did last year, with lots of booths scattered around the fairgrounds and people bustling everywhere. "Do you think it's safer to leave our instruments in the car?" Luna inquired. "Yeah," Thorn shrugged. "Thief rates are pretty down here, and besides, no one usually steals anything in Oakhaven. In fact, you'd be more likely to have someone warn you left if your car is left unlocked than just to have someone take your stuff." "Good. I want to walk around a bit before we set up. Besides, if we're going to be traveling around the world next year, I want to enjoy this while I can," Dusk teased. "Oh, stop," Thorn laughed. "We're just getting lucky with Hex Girl, is all." "Guys, look!" Luna pointed at the large banner, which read Oakhaven Autumn Fest, featuring the Hex Girls. "Hey, it's the same banner they used for us last year. Cheap bastards," Dusk joked. She immediately started blushing when the Mayor Corey came over a few moments later. She was pretty sure that he hadn't heard her goofy remark, but nonetheless, she still looked a bit embarrassed. "Hello, girls. Thank you so much for playing at the Autumn Fest last minute like this. I hope it wasn't too much of an inconvenience for you," Mayor Corey apologized. "Not at all. We're really excited about this," Thorn reassured. "I'm glad," Mayor Corey joyfully remarked. "You still got an hour and a half before your performance, so plenty of time to look around. We've got lots of staff this year, candle making, bread making, butter churning, souvenir stands, and a petting zoo right over there." The girls looked over at what the mayor was pointing at. There were a couple of ponies, several alpacas, and some sheep. "What happened to the turkeys?" Luna inquired. "Well, you see, they weren't too happy about the irregularly with the one last year," Mayor Corey blushed. Thorn knew he was referring to that turkey that Sarah Ravencroft's spell made a gigantic. But if the mayor wasn't going to say it, she certainly wasn't going to bring the whole thing up. "I could go for something to eat." Thorn changed the subject. "How about we get a slice of bread from Tim's over there?" "Sure," Dusk shrugged. "Well, I'm just looking forward to the performance, girls," Mayor Corey said, as he began to head in to get another guest. "Enjoy the Autumn Fest." Just as Thorn and Dusk and Luna began heading over to the bread stand, Thorn heard a familiar voice behind her. "Hey, Sally," her father's voice greeted. "Hi, Daddy," Thorn exclaimed, embracing her father with a warm hug. "We are just heading over to get some fresh baked bread," Dusk informed. "I could go for a slice myself," Robert laughed. "I haven't eaten since breakfast with how busy I've been. Between the dentist office and this morning and working at the souvenir stand all afternoon." "Oh, right." Thorn's eyes had immediately admitted that her forgotten father had told her about this morning that he was going to be working at the souvenir stand. "How's the stand been?" "Oh, it's in good standing," Robert chuckled at his own pun, before shifting his attention to the man working at the bread stand. "Hey, Tim, we'll take 4 slices." "You got it, Mr. McKnight," Tim said as he picked up a wooden peel and took a loaf fresh out of the wood stove. He quickly grabbed the knife and sliced into 4 pieces from the crispy loaf, handing it to each girl and Robert when they were finished. "There you go, you enjoy," Tim smiled. "If you want butter, May's churning butter batch over there. You always just get the bread just the perfect amount of crispy," Robert said, before taking a bite out of his bread. "Thanks, Tim. Have a good day." "You too," Tim replied. As the girls moved onto the booth, directly adjacent to his, a woman was at the booth. She had a large butter churner at it, and the woman was currently letting a small child wearing a blue shirt to use it. "Hey, May," Thorn greeted. "Oh, hello there, Sally," May waved. It was jarring to Thorn to have people call her other than her nickname and stage name, since everyone knows in Oakhaven There were some people that had known her since she was a little girl, but she didn't seem to hear her often to know enough to change her name and preference. Would you girls like to take a turn churning the butter? May inquired. We'd love to, Foreign smiled. She took the stick from May's hand and then moved it around to churn the butter. It's great to see you girls again, and you too, Robert, May said. I heard you girls will be playing at the Autumn Fest again tonight. Yeah, Dusk nodded in affirmation. They just got their first song released on radio as well, Robert informed her. It's already been added to 19 different radio stations. It was only 18, but Foreigns wasn't going to risk coming off as sounding rude and correcting him. Oh, how darling, May's voice became high-pitched, almost sounding like a light shriek. Our little Gaven girls are growing up. Once Form had churned the butter for a minute or so, she picked up a knife off of May's table and spread the butter on the piece of bread. After she was done, she had handed the bucket to her father, who gave it to Dusk and Luna when he was finished. Thanks, May. Dusk appreciated. Of course, May said. It's always been a pleasure to see you girls. This bread really hits the spot, Forn noted between chewing. Kimmy, a voice was heard shouting. It was no mystery who it could have been. Only one person called Luna by that nickname. Hey, Mom, Luna waved. What are you doing here? Are you kidding? We couldn't miss our daughters performing at the Autumn Fest for the world, Trish exclaimed. Great, it's nice to see you girls performing again. What an honor, Mark exclaimed. Knowing my parents, they wouldn't even bother to show up, Dusk muttered, with no one in particular. Oh, don't be silly, honey, Trish comforted. Of course they'll be here. I'm pretty sure they're just running behind, that's all. Well, I thank you for coming to support us, Dusk replied. Of course, Mark smiled. Luna, your brothers wanted to make it, but to the both of them, they got busy and down in Boston. Oh, it's okay, Luna smiled. Her brothers rarely ever come to visit anymore, ever since they moved out a few years ago, so she was quite used to it. Oh, Kiki's got her candle-making booths again this year, Trish pointed out. Let's go there. I'd just love to get another one of these homemade candles. I wouldn't mind getting her another one myself, Luna said. They always smell so good. Well, I'll be, Kiki exclaimed, putting her hands on her hips as she came over to her booth. If it isn't that the Hex girls, how's your little band doing? It's going well, Foreign lightly chuckled. It felt like everyone in town thought of the girls were being little, and didn't realize they had grown at all. They were actually starting to get one of the songs played on the radio. How lovely, Kiki responded. I guess I can't say kids now these days have no taste in music anymore. Everyone chuckled at Kiki's remark, even though the older adults most certainly laughed harder. Foreign, Luna, and Dusk lightly chuckled out of social obligation. But as none of them really cared for the whole kids these days don't ever have a taste as we did, type mentally, many than the adults had. So how many candles would you like? Kiki inquired. Mark, honey, how do you want any? Trish inquired. No, I'm good, Mark shook his head. I'll take one, Robert jumped in. Me too, Luna added. I wouldn't mind having one myself, Foreign realized. I guess I'll take one too. Dusk added. Alright, 6 candles coming up, Kiki said as she grabbed a multi-prolonged tool off the table. The tool had 6 different prolongs, each had a wick on it. Kiki then dropped the tool into a pool of hot wax, then after a few moments, took it out and held it up to air dry it. After our candles are ready, I need to head back to the souvenir stand, Robert informed. I don't want to inconvenience John by making him staff in the stand much longer than he needs to. Oh my gosh, look! Foreign put her hand up to her heart as she looked over towards the petting zoo. There was an adorable-looking pony with a small, soft-looking white fur glancing over her in their direction. Foreign went over to the petting zoo, lightly pet the pony's head. Luna was quick to follow and began petting one of the alpacas. The pony gently nuzzled Foreign's hand. I think it likes you, Luna smiled. Aww, Foreign cooed. Alright, your candles are ready to go. Kiki informed. Bye, sweetie, Thorn said. She gave the pony a last few pets on the top of the head. Luna did the same with the alpaca. Thanks again, Kiki, Thorn warmly stated, taking her candle. Oh, it's my pleasure, girls, Kiki replied. You girls should come back to the souvenir booth with me if there's anything you might want, Robert offered. We've already got plenty of t-shirts, Dusk laughed. Usually the booth was just filled with knickknacks and t-shirts. Oh, we've got other things too, Robert chuckled back. He led the girls back over to the booth. We're going to have a look around a little more, Kimmy, but we can meet up with you later if you want, Luna's mom offered. Thanks. I think I've got to get set up for the show soon, though, Luna declined. That's alright, honey, Trish assured. We can't wait to see your show. See you later, darling, Mark said, as he began to head into the opposite direction with Trish. Bye, Luna waved back. Thorn, Luna, and Dusk followed Robert back to their souvenir booth. Thanks for watching the booth, John, Robert thanked. No problem, Robert. John dutifully nodded as he walked away. We've got a wide assortment of knickknacks here, Robert informed, pointing at the various souvenirs at the table. We got some cheesy-looking pilgrim figurines, a turkey bobblehead, and some leftover I Met the Ghost of Oakhaven and Liv t-shirts from the prior year Autumn Fest. I really wish we'd sell those t-shirts. I don't think we want any of us to talk about last year with, Robert stuttered. At least there are only 10 left. Hey, what's this? Dusk asked, showing Robert a silver medallion. The medallion had a rectangular shape on it, and it had a string attached to it. I don't know, Jane, Robert shrugged in confusion. That's not something from my stand. Where did you find it, Dusk? Luna asked. It was lying right below the souvenir stand, Dusk said. This medallion looks pretty badass. Oh no, we're going to meet 3 new biggest fans now? Luna teased. What do you mean, Kim? Robert inquired. Oh, nothing. Just an inside joke. Luna blushed. I'm not seeing anything here. Sorry, Daddy. Thorn apologized. It's no problem. All the good stuff gets sold out this morning, to be honest, Robert chuckled. Well, we've got to start signing up for the show, Luna reminded. Yeah, we better get going if we want to have some time before the show. Bye, Daddy, Thorn waved. Bye, girls. Good luck with the show. I'll be right over when it starts, Robert informed. See you later, Robert. Luna waved a goodbye before shifting her attention to Dusk. You really gonna keep that medallion? Yeah, it looks pretty wicked, Dusk defended. Wicked is a good word. Thorn's tone then turned more cautious. Something about medallions creeped me out. Oh, would you stop worrying about everything? Dusk snapped. Even if the first necklace did end up being a Wiccan charm or whatever, it doesn't mean this one is. Thorn was almost scared to say it, so there was a few second pause before the next words left her lips. It wasn't awkward though, as the girls were close friends. They were comfortable enough in each other's presence. That was not all the silence to be awkward. That's really engraving on the necklace. It's almost looks creepy, like that creepy shoe buckle that Ben Ravencroft used to open Sarah's journal. Thorn gulped. Oh, that was probably the sound that left Luna's mouth, because she was so shocked to hear Thorn say something like that. No, it doesn't. Dusk rolled her eyes. It's just the shape of a rectangle, with lots of things like you ever heard of a table or window? Besides, the first charm ended up being good. If this medallion has any powers, which it doesn't, it'll probably end up being good too. I don't know, Dusk. Thorn still looked nervous. Yeah, it's like that saying, don't take candy from strangers, Luna compared. You shouldn't take medallions that you find on the ground either. Oh my god, not you too, Dusk growled. Just put it back where you found it, Dusk, Thorn attempted to persuade. Just prove you're wrong. I'm not going to do, Sally, Dusk sassed. It was very rare that the girls had called each other by their real names anymore. But if they did, it was usually because someone was pissed. Look, if you're going to get so worried about medallion, why don't you ask your Wicca friends if it's a charm or not? That's actually a good idea. Thorn's voice softened. Next time I'll see them. Yeah, they probably won't know if it's something to be worried about or not, Luna agreed as she arrived at the stage. Where's the outlet for this? Foreign asked as she took up the guitar, searching for a way to hook up to the sound system. It's over here! A voice said that was not Luna or Dusk. It was Bridget. Thanks, Bridget, Foreign appreciated. By the way, we wanted to ask you something. Oh, of course, what is it? Bridget wondered. Dusk let out an annoyed sigh as she walked over to the pink-haired girl. Foreign and Luna think that this medallion I found is cursed, Dusk said, holding the air quotes with her hands as she did the final words in her sentence. Is it? Bridget then slightly tugged at the necklace around Dusk's neck so she could look at the medallion in the palm of her hand to examine it. No, I've never seen this type of medallion before. I think it's just a regular medallion, Bridget persuaded. No curses or anything. See, Foreign? You and Luna were just worrying over nothing, Dusk said, sounding as if she was her superior. Well, we just found that charmed necklace not more than a couple weeks ago. I think I have the right to be cautious, Foreign snarled back, annoyed Dusk's cocky tone. I think I'm all hooked up here, Luna changed the subject. She hated the conflict, so Foreign and Dusk's sassy banter would just made her uncomfortable, even if it meant somewhat playful. Me too, Foreign added. And just in time, Dusk pointed out this next stage next to the area, which with at least filled with 40 people already. A few more continued to stream in to watch the girls' performance. Despite the annoyance of the argument with Dusk, the sight of all the people who were here to watch them all perform made her happy. It reminded her of last year's Autumn Fest, except without the trauma from nearly being killed by two maleficent beings. Mayor Corey was just walking over to the stage. Oh hey, I guess Trish was right, Dusk quietly commented to Foreign and Luna, pointed at the parents in the audience, as well as their 4 sisters. Dusk's parents, Debbie and Aaron, did not look particularly interested in their daughter. It almost seems as if they needed to be there, because it was obligatory. The red-haired mayor now had walked up on stage and approached the microphone. Happy Autumn Fest, Oakhaven! It's so wonderful to have you all here again. This lovely year tradition this town has. I'm very excited to introduce you to Oakhaven's very own band, the Hexed Girls. As the crowd erupted in cheering, Foreign took out a deep breath and got ready to sing her heart out. We're gonna put a spell on all of you. The Hexed Girls then sang threatened, as a cloud of colored smoke billowed around them. Foreign hadn't realized that the mayor had been arranged for the smoke again, although it was certainly she didn't mind it. It made the show look more flashier. The crowd vigorously clapped and cheered as the Hexed Girl concluded, with the minimum whooping and exciting and yelling. The band had tried to make it as a habit to end their performances with that song, in an attempt to save the best for last. Now that the song had become popular, the mayor came back on stage again as the smoke had cleared. Thank you all again for coming tonight, and a big thank you to the Hexed Girls for their stupendous performance, Mayor Corey boomed through the microphone. The audience began to disband and headed back to their vehicles, a few sticking around them to compliment the girls, as well as some little kids asking for their autographs. Girls, a voice shouted. Foreign looked over to see that it was the manager's face. Wonderful performance. I was blown away, Gus complimented. Thanks, Gus, Dusk responded. Yeah, it's really sweet of you to come over here and tell us that, Foreign smiled. By the way, we booked a new show in Salem. Actually, Bridget just mentioned that to me. However, that's not all I wanted to tell you, Gus excitedly foreshadowed. Your song has been played on the radio. Wait for it, 192 times in the past 4 days. What? Dusk exclaimed. How was that even possible? Foreign then shook her head in shock. People have loved your band. That's how it is possible, Gus chuckled warmly. I can't believe it. At this rate, our song will be up and played on the radio nearly 400 times by the end of the week, Luna said to the other girls. I hope you girls have a wonderful weekend. I'm really looking forward to our meeting next Thursday, Gus smiled. You should do something to celebrate. Hell yeah, we should, Dusk agreed. The girls were in so disbelief that they forgot to say goodbye to Gus. After excitedly packing up their instruments and quickly talking to their parents, the girls headed for their car to celebrate at home. The Hex girls had remained excited the entire way home. After a brief of stopping by to get some ice cream cones to celebrate, the usual long drudgery that was bringing their instruments up to the stairs, it didn't even seem to bother them anymore. I'm so freaking hyped right now, Dusk informed. We should write a song, Thorn exclaimed. Let's channel this excitement with a piece of artistry. Well, has anyone got any great song ideas that haven't shared yet? Luna lightheartedly chuckled. Oh, I've got one, Dusk shared, as Thorn used her key to unlock to the apartment. Now, the lyrics might sound a little bit cheesy on paper, but I think it will sound awesome if we sang it. Sure, I'm down for a little harmonizing, Thorn giggled. Sitting down on the tan couch in the living room, Luna and Thorn gathered around their notebook, and Dusk counted it up for them to begin singing the words together. All right, 1, 2, 3, Dusk counted. Because it's terror time again. They've got you running through the night, the girls sang in harmony.